Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Today is February 22nd, 2022 in 2023, and today is day 33 of our 40-day journey. We have just 1 week left. My name is Laura Chung. I am the author of How to Manifest, and yeah, today, actually, if you were able to go outside and look at the sky yesterday, we have a beautiful alignment in the sky that's going to continue tonight. But actually, right now, the moon in Aries is in between Venus and Jupiter. And I have to say that it's a very auspicious sign. The moon being the planet of manifestation and our body, and being between two benefics. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, relationships, and attraction, and Jupiter, the greater benefic about opportunities, luck, and abundance. So I know we have a void of course moon soon, but I have to say the energy today is perfect for setting your intentions and really feeling into Aries energy. And Aries energy is getting after what you want. It is a cardinal fire sign. It is reigniting the fire within you and really being honest with your desires and what it is that you want out of life. And Aries is a very big energy this year because the North Node will enter Aries in July, and we have Jupiter there now until May, and Venus as well. The Sun will enter Aries on March 20th, which is my birthday, the equinox. So there's a huge focus on I am and we. Um, so with that being said, and yesterday we talked about finding your soul family. I'm going to pick a card for us. This is our last day in Cartagena, Colombia. We're leaving for the airport in a few hours. But this trip really reminded me that life is short and we have to do things even when we're afraid. We have to take risks. We have to put ourselves out there. We have to get outside of our comfort zone. And just this last 9 days, I was reminded of how important it is to travel, to learn about different cultures, putting yourself in other people's shoes, talking to people, and not being afraid to try to speak their language. I've been trying to speak Spanish all week. Um, and the locals are just so kind. Like, they really try to help me out. But it really does activate a different part of the brain when you are out of your comfort zone and when you're Sagittarius placements, right? Okay, so what is that message, the overall energy for today? The Three of Pentacles. This is all about sharing. It's about teamwork. It's about asking for help and offering help. This is a collaborative energy. And this is an earth sign. This is Pentacles. More specifically, it's Taurus. So it is lending a hand. It is offering something. It is also receiving, being able to receive. And one day, I forget when it was now, we dedicated an entire day talking about giving and receiving, the law of reciprocity, and how important that is in manifestation. Because like I said yesterday, did I say that yesterday or a couple days ago? Manifestation is yin energy. It's flow. It doesn't, um, it's an energy that doesn't want to be contained. I watched a TikTok last week before I left to come here, and she said that there's actually more money being printed today than there ever was because money isn't backed by gold anymore. It's not backed by like gemstones or anything like that. It's just literally they're just printing money. And I actually wrote about that in my book, like the history of how money started out as like salt, and then it was trading, food and grain, and then eventually it changed into coins, um, and then because in the 1980s with I think it was 70s or 80s President Nixon or Reagan, now I don't remember, but it's in my book, that they stopped backing money with gold and they just started like printing it. So it's not actually backed by anything. So literally money is just paper. And we assign meaning and we put all of this, our feelings, into money, whereas money is just an exchange tool for goods and services and value. And we put so much of our own distorted feelings and our mental capacities into money. And she was saying that money is like, again, like energy. Everyone says that. What does that mean? It's all around us, but we block it because we believe all of these things that we were taught that aren't actually true. And so it's more about being receptive and also knowing how to make money flow through you. And so that's why and hoarding wealth and hoarding money and keeping it tightly is also a marker of scarcity, which brings us to today, day 33, healing your scarcity mentality, which is something I believe we're all on the journey of healing. It's not something that's just you can just like release and let go easily because we live in a society that focuses on scarcity. If the thought of lack, whether it be money, recognition, or love, has become part of who you think you are, you will always experience lack rather than acknowledge the good that is already in your life. All you see is lack. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for all abundance. This is Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth. Most of us who start on the manifestation journey begin because we want something that we feel that we don't have. In essence, we start manifesting from a place of lack. But the universe doesn't care about what you want, it reacts to vibration. So if you're manifesting from a place of lack, it will keep giving you the same vibration you currently have until you change it. Remember, it's an internal shift first. If you are in a state of wanting, you are resisting because you are noticing what you don't have. It's like the ultimate trick of the universe, right? We like look at our current circumstances, we're like, we don't have this thing. So then we want it, but then that want becomes um, energetically reinforcing that you don't have it. The whole point of manifesting is to release resistance and be in the receptive energy that we discussed on day 31. When you notice yourself focusing on what you don't have, remember to refocus your attention and energy back to the things you do have. You can train your mind to see a world of abundance versus lack. For those of us who have seen this world with a lens of scarcity all of our lives, this process will take time. I'm going to use the example of money. Oh, this is the chapter. Okay, here we go. Because it's the thing that most people want to manifest. I'm sure you've heard many times that money is energy. I've mentioned it myself earlier in this journey. Money is used as an exchange for a good or service. It was meant to be just that until we associated it with other things like power, safety, and security. We have attached meaning to money even though money is neutral. Money has been represented in various physical forms over time. During ancient civilizations, salt and grain were used as a form of exchange. Then it was gold, then banknotes, dollars, and now digital currency. Money is going to be more and more elusive to us as it exchanged through our technology versus our hands. I've always heard this, even through my church days, that God gives you everything that you need. So then why did I always feel without? I felt that I was without money, without recognition, without love, in spite of that teaching. So, how do I shift my mindset and feel that I have? Whenever I feel the strong pull of lack governing my mind, I go for a walk in nature and I repeat out loud all of the things I see. I begin by saying, I am grateful that I can see, hear, touch, and smell. Start with small observations to shift your focus to abundance in a world that tries to convince you that there's not enough. What do you see? What are you grateful for? I believe one of the biggest diseases in the world is our belief in lack. It has created such division and separation. It has catalyzed wars, colonization, and suffering. The ideology behind it all is lack. Lack leads to justification and taking wealth and resources from other lands. And while you might not literally practice the ethos behind colonization in your everyday lives, you might manifest it in other ways. The energy of lack and can lead to feeling jealous of someone's success, MLM schemes, sketchy marketing, and even road rage. It means blinding yourself to the suffering of others in order to increase your own feeling of safety. So I'm just skipping ahead here. In Lynn Twist's book, The Soul of Money, which is a book I highly recommend, she writes, sufficiency as a way of being offers us enormous personal freedom and possibility. The truth of sufficiency asserts that there is enough for everyone. Knowing that there is enough inspires sharing, collaboration. Oh my God, the Three of Pentacles, like I said. See, always on point. And contribution. I believe that BIPOC people have been led to feel that we are the minority and that some of other countries of origin are poor. I've experienced quite the opposite. This is something that I had alluded to in the introduction. I am a history nerd. I love learning about why things are the way they are now, and in order for us to understand why things are the way they are, we have to look back at history. I co host a podcast called The Work, and one of our guests, Milagros Phillips, is a race healer who teaches programs that combine historical references, science, research, and storytelling to create compelling and life transforming experiences. During our interview, Milagros shared that all of the countries at the equator, which is one of the countries I'm currently in right now, Colombia, um, so all of the countries at the equator experience abundance all the time because of the temperate weather. They have food all year round. Most of these countries, for example, Haiti, were the richest countries in the world until colonization. Colonizers drained these countries of their natural resources, minerals, crops, as well as money, and then convinced these people that they were poor. I've mentioned that colonization represents lack because colonized countries' existence is predicated on a belief in lack. These places often don't live in lack. They are some of the most abundant in culture, music, food, spiritual practices, and wisdom. But the belief in lack imposed upon them by the empire that absorbed them perpetuates throughout generations. That they are uncivilized or lack the discipline or efficiency of the colonizer. But all it takes to break this cycle is first to be aware and second to change the pattern. The truth sets you free. You change generational patterns by breaking the cycle and halting the repetition of one pattern by introducing a new one. I believe that each and every one of us who decided to show up to the school that is Earth is a potential chain breaker of toxic patterns from our ancestors. So, this whole chapter is really about healing our belief in scarcity. And I say belief because we were taught that there is scarcity, whereas in reality, in nature, there is no such thing as scarcity. And I truly, after learning about the history of colonization and the ramifications of that and how that has impacted so many things like climate change, um, colonization is predicated on the belief in lack and that they had to take over and extract and steal and murder unalive people for their resources. That's a belief in lack. And Milagros Phillips, who we interviewed, basically says that the European countries in the north, where it was wintertime, and winter makes us believe they're in scarcity, they would travel in their ships down to these countries at the equator where abundance was just like a reality because there was food growing all year round and they had all these minerals and resources. And then through colonization, through generation and generation, they were believed to be poor, even though they weren't, right? Like if you just read the history of these countries, like India and all these global South countries, they literally were all rich until colonization happened. So what's the point of bringing this up is healing your scarcity mentality and looking to your ancestors of how maybe they were colonized and that through epigenetics made you and your family, your community believe in scarcity, whereas in reality, scarcity is a myth. Nature is always abundant. Yes, I live in the Northeast in New York where there is a winter time and it looks scarce and things look like they're dying, but things are just resting. Nature is taking its time. So I believe when we as a community and a collective, we all heal our belief in scarcity, this world would be such a better place. And we would share because we know deep within us that there's more than enough to share with everybody. Then there wouldn't be jealousy, there wouldn't be control and power and stealing and theft and taking over people's lands, right? We would give back lands, we would pay reparations back. Again, law of reciprocity, giving and receiving. And I really do believe that this is what we need to do to heal. Once we understand what has happened in our past, historical past, we know why we're here now, then we know how to heal and mend relationships. And I'm a huge believer in reparations and land back um, and as an American citizen, we are we are living in a country of safety and security, but at what cost? That's the question I'll ask you. So in the book, there is a meditation to heal scarcity mindset. And there's just sit in a quiet place and just start thinking about like how you perceive this world. Um, are you manifesting from a place of lack? Do you feel lack on a daily basis? Can you refocus your attention on everything that you do have? And I say, like, whenever I travel anywhere in the world, and I think back to my life in the United States and the fact that, yeah, we have major issues. Like, we don't have universal health care, and we have a lot of debt, student loan debt, and we have a gigantic military. But we do have certain things that most countries don't, again, through not such great means. But I look at my situation and I say, wow, I'm super grateful for where I live and not ever having to worry about things like water, and I could walk around at nighttime as a woman and feel safe. So just do that little inventory for yourself. Like, where do I feel lack? When do I feel abundant? What are the situations in which I can remind myself of abundance? I always feel abundant when I'm in nature, when I'm relaxing, when I'm taking my time and I watch Netflix and I don't feel guilty about taking time off. Also, when I'm traveling, when I'm with my family and friends, like all of those things um, are really like have nothing to do with the actual thing, It's not about things, it's about quality time. That's my love language, though. My love language is quality time and presence. Okay, now I'm going off in a tangent. So the Go Deeper exercise, write yourself a check just like Jim Carrey did from the week one. I shared that story. Write an amount that you're manifesting. For example, Jim Carrey wrote himself a $10 million check for services rendered, and he gave himself 5 years to manifest it. He looked at the check every day until the date that he'd written came about. On that day, he said that the check started to disintegrate into his wallet, and in fact, he no longer needed it. He had manifested the $10 million exactly 5 years to the day for his role in the movie Dumb and Dumber. So tomorrow we're going to talk about cultivating an abundance mindset on day 34, and yeah, just really like think, because again, healing your scarcity mindset is kind of like a lifelong journey, but one day it's going to click in, and you're going to say, um, when you start feeling scarcity, when you start feeling lack, you'll have the tools to um, snap yourself out of it. So, like always, if you want to buy the book, it's available at Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, bookshop.org, IndieBound, Kindle and ebook, and Audible. So, and all of those links are down below. So, anyway, I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.